Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer, and we are in Moon in Libra, which is second house to the new moon cycle in Virgo that is activated. We are in the activation portion of this lunar cycle. We have activation to the first quarter square. Then we have integration until the full moon. Then we have harvest coming out of the full moon, and then we have closure, including the balsamic phase. We're in the activation phase. We're activating the real physical change. And just like I promised, okay, and other adepts may have mentioned, Virgo season has already, in massive quality, I don't even think massive quality is like the right phrase, but in true fashion, analyzed details and facts that, relative to narratives that have been force fed down your throat, have synthesized with this analysis that things aren't adding up. A lot of what you were told, real detailed analysis through facts and numbers, are legitimately showing a different story. So for those of you who've been thinking critically and applying this analysis, continue on, especially with the activation of this cycle, which is literally in cardinal Libra, prepared to direct and move cardinally forward in your receptivity to the manifestation of this compiled analysis in your relationships with other people. As such, Moon and Libra will get debate heavy, where you're now taking these updates of information and understanding, clashing them with personalities and characters who may really just play contrarian, not because anything that they're saying is true, but their idea about your stance threatens them. And I really want you to be receptive to this aspect of people. The opposition of the Chiron and Aries to the moon in Libra will empower more of your vulnerable disposition, asserting your masculinity in the face of a social class and culture that is coming together to support or undermine this identification of your character through your actions as an extension of what you believe. And so in many social circles, you have this very played out, outdated sense of putting people in a box where, oh, you believe this and that, so you must be that, when you're you, right? You're not some label that people put in a box. So you can share rhetoric or ideology that sounds like something that they're uneasy with, and instead of listening to you, they're responding to their idea of you and the fears surrounding how what you say and do make them believe and think. And so this will give you the opportunity to forge through greater clarity and bringing you, not people's ideas of you, but the real you. You can't really control how people think and feel about you, but this will definitely reveal more how many people around you really don't know what they're talking about, or especially know how to deal with you in the sense of their ideas of you versus dealing with actually you. A transit like this will clear a lot of this up, but it's going to be through conflict, hence the square to Pluto, the opposition to Chiron, and it's going to be through dialect. I was going to say conjecture, but through conversations, manifesting these connections that are not always going to be pretty, but are necessary in order to establish truths and understandings now in Libra with the moon relative to the cultural and socio-economic understanding, especially of the differerences between people. I wasn't even supposed to say economic. I just wanted to say socio, but I didn't want to say socio without adding it to anything. But definitely socio-cultural and collective narratives that impact the social cultural interactions and circles around you. I really hate to be that Gemini that sounds like he thinks he knows better than other people, but there's a lot of fucking stupid idiots that are really proliferating false narratives that they can't really tell you they know. And the only reason why I say they're stupid idiots is because they're using pride and prejudice to label and talk down on people who are thinking critically, because it goes against a popular opinion or narrative that once again is being forced down people's throats. So it's going to be a day with Moon and Libra that will push forward changes of attitude or behavior relative to analysis that pinpoints through detailed facts that what you were told is not adding up because it was never true in the first place. Okay, so keep that in mind as this pertains to now the manifestation of this change of behavior. The moon in Libra is making you receptive to the balance that can be applied in relationships now that you're going to what? Apply this facts and change of behavior with that. And because this is a part of an activating transit, mind you, the new moon manifested supernatural abilities into your real experience. So now you're extending on that with the moon in Libra to manifest the quality of that new moon cycle into now starting to see these abilities impact your relationships, to see your intuitive understanding and abilities infiltrate your relationships with others and continue, not begin, but continue the process of, with that social context, drawing out your techniques, abilities, and skills. This is also you defining the value of this changed perspective in your communication, conversations, and actions taken with other people. Libra doesn't even always have to be relationships as much as it is the balance between you and any other thing, and how your actions are balanced based off of what you do with yourself as an individual and the social environment around you. And so as the moon goes over Venus and Mercury, you're going to be downloading and coming into understanding of how to communicate your raw character to other people and how to tap into this beauty and balance that will set into place important contacts. So if there are important things you need to tell people, if you need to tell anyone you love them, especially Love Fest Day, shout out to Chris Witecki, that's Moon Venus. That's the day you really want to express that. You want to do that every day, but there's definitely a day that you really, truly want to do this. The square to Pluto is going to very intensely switch things up by challenging how well you maintain this value of perception in the face of outside extreme opinions that try to guilt trip you, manipulate you. Remember, moon in Cancer is gaslighting. Moon in Libra is character assassination. That's mainly erroneous and not based on any truth. So with the trine that the moon will be making to the North Node of Gemini, you're going to be through the receptivity of cultural insight based on these real change of facts or understanding of the facts align with the destiny in Gemini, the idea and the true perspective. You're aligning with the truth and the true perspective of how to understand what you're hearing from other people. It's not like moon in Aries where you're coming into an individual understanding of your own actions. Now moon in Libra is having you understand your own actions based on the actions other people take. How are we balancing it? Moon in Libra is understanding balance, if moon is a keyword for understanding. So other than that, this balanced sense of mastery is going to apply the change in your physiology socially with others, and the quincunxes that they make to Uranus and Neptune will further integrate and transform your perception of metaphysical aspects and phenomena that are unseen, that you can't register physically, while Uranus transforms how you apply socially this unconventional manifestation of supernatural ability in your body and of the ability for your spirit to express the quality of your advanced body and bodily functions. I'm not necessarily talking about something that's just happened. All of this is happening because the planets are progressing and continuing to move along. A transit like this is very important because, especially when you speak about abstract, like it's 2021 and people are still acting like astrology is some pseudoscience. But as an astrologer, it's not my job to prove astrology. You don't prove a language, you speak the language. You don't prove a science, you practice the science. I know people prove science it's adorable, but a transit like this with your own actions will have your attitude and beliefs speak for itself. Instead of you trying to shove down your throat why what you believe in is right, you're going to live it. That your very actions won't prove right or wrong to anybody. It will just show that you knew what you were doing all along to everybody. So, there's that. I hope you enjoy this transit, because now that we're past the new moon, we're manifesting the magic of this experience that's activating. So like everything moving forward, especially with the moon's in Scorpio, you're now seeing so much more open shared with other people's experiences your superpowers. It's no longer like a question. These weird synchronicities you had alone are being shared with others and opening up your world to the greater possibility, the greater world around you, the greater universe, with celestials still laughing at our whole culture, the fact that we allow half of the bullshit we allow, but ain't nothing new. Libra and Aquarius are still our ambassadors going to these aliens like, look, I'm sorry, I know humanity's a little ratchet, but you need to give us some time. Y'all need to stop doing Libra like that. Y'all need to stop doing Aquarius. Libra and Aquarius does so much to make us look at least somewhat presentable to these extra dimensional beings that talk so much shit. All right, that was a joke. But other than that, the main lesson of this transit, as you balance this sense of mastery that you're activating, is to not be so over eager to cater to opposing opinions or viewpoints, but at the same time, balance, don't shut it out. You actually want to encourage this, especially for those of you who swear that what you know is the truth. That's an opportunity. Obviously, because what you believe and know is the truth, then other people with opposing viewpoints is an opportunity to show that what you know is the truth. Not prove, but just show, in the sense where you don't have to be worried about the fact that it's opposing. You can listen to their argument, analyze it, pinpoint what's off about it. After all, you know the truth, right? And then get that sword. Slash. Objection! Shout out to my Phoenix Wright players. This is a gangster game. So other than that, it's going to be a transit like this where you start to manifest through your receptive experience in social environments the supernatural, extra dimensionally magical, real change in your perspective, extending forth the supernatural abilities that manifested. And like, it's no longer going to be you just saying it, you're going to be taking actions that express this, but not to yourself, with other people, to the point where other people react and be like, that's crazy that you would even know or do that because I didn't even tell you. And now you're both sharing an experience that they may walk away from, not even still believing is psychic. They don't have to. It's not about belief. It's about action. Y'all stay blessed as always. Take the actions that count. Godspeed. Peace. Oh, I didn't turn it off.